Tink to Charles. I'm never letting go moment.
Welcome to Balance Sports, a show at the cross-section of women's basketball and a gay-ass time.
This is what happens when two best friends catch up twice a week to talk hoops in front of a green screen.
From interviews with legends to blunders on camera, covering Coach's game plan and also her wardrobe.
We're here to grow the game and have a good time.
This is Balance Sports.
I appreciate y'all.
This is Briann January.
I'm Jewelz. I'm Brianna Stewart.
This is Ezzy, and you're watching Balance Sports.
Welcome back to Balance Sports. I'm Jewelz. Hunter has joined the Banana Boat crew and is down in Mexico. And that means our special guest reporters are back in studio as my co-hosts for today. They are in full kit and play mode. So there's actually no point in having a chair here because they're just running around. But maybe they'll pop in and say hi. Or maybe they'll knock the camera over. We here at Balance Sports wanted to say hello to the new subscribers. We are experiencing some growth. Hey y'all. I believe it is likely that some of you saw some interviews from one of our most recent videos. Hope you enjoyed it. Good news is today we are continuing that trend with some more fire interviews. So, okay, y'all cannot be hitting the mic stand. You can't hit the mic stand. You can't do that. You can't hit the mic stand because it picks up. Okay, can you be nice? So, we wanted to... Hunter actually spoke with Sue Bird, Coach Quinn, and Briann January. So, we are super excited to share that with y'all. Before we get into the interviews, we are discussing WNBA playoff semifinals. So the home team, Seattle Storm, beat the Aces 76-73 in a thriller. That was playoff basketball. Woo-wee! I'm going to start with Miss Tina Charles. Tina Charles passed Lindsay Whalen, a Storm legend, and now holds the record for playoff rebounds in a game with 18 of them things. Sue Bird also passed Lindsay Whalen. Sue Bird is now the WNBA all-time playoff assist leader with 342. Goat shit. Goat things. Truly. Goat things. So the point leaders for the Storm. Seattle Storm had 3 players in double digits. Jewel Lloyd led the Storm with 26 points. Brianna Stewart not far behind with 24. And Tina Charles got a double-double, 13 points and 18 rebounds. The Storm led for the majority of this game. The first lead change didn't take place until midway through the fourth, when Raquana Williams hit a three-pointer to put the Aces up 65-64. But Jewel Lloyd had an answer in the form of a three-point dagger. And the Storm fans were screaming about it. Mwah, chef's kiss in this house, on Twitter's house, your house. It was good. It was Coach Quinn in the post-game interview said that
we're not going to be successful if Jewel's not at her best, point blank, period. And I think she understands that and she's locked into that. And what's amazing today is that she guarded Gray most of the game and still able to be very effective down the stretch. Point blank
and the period. We're so glad she was successful. Gabby Williams is still recovering from the concussion. Y'all know I was, is that sweat? Is that sweat? So Jewel Lloyd had a very tough assignment in having Chelsea Gray. But she answered the call. You know, Jewel stayed in front, had active hands, and she got the job done. At the halfway point, the point guard only had 11 points. For the Aces, we had 3 players in double digits. Chelsea Gray had 21, Kelsey Plum had 20, and Jackie Young had 11 points. Truthfully, the Aces did not shoot the ball very well. They had 11 turnovers. Becky Hammond said after the game that they played tight and that they played like the world was on their shoulders. She said, I thought we were in a hurry to win the game. They had 0 transition points, and A'ja Wilson had a pretty quiet night, only scoring 8 points. She did still get 12 boards, which is nothing to sneeze at. The biggest problem for the Aces is that they had 0 second chance points, 0 fast breaks, and 11 turnovers. Those 11 turnovers led to 16 points for the Storm. Here's the reality. The Storm did that. They did exactly what they needed to do. Steal one on the road. That first game is so important. They got it done. I am confident that the Aces will make the adjustments they need to. A'ja will go off in the next game, and the Storm will need to respond to that. We here have to acknowledge what Stephanie Talbot did. Some of us were really worried about the lack of Gabby Williams, the Gabby Williams-less storm. I am some of us. The call is coming from inside the house. I was wrong. I will full-throatedly say that. I've never been more happy to be wrong. You know, Stephanie Talbot played 28 minutes, is that right? Had a block, a steal, a 3, a little bit of everything, 6 boards. You know, she's a big guard who's Aussie strong, and so should have never doubted her. I did, but should have never. That was wrong of me. Dead wrong. So happy you decided to play Steph. I think Jewel Lloyd's defense really made a difference, and Tina and Stewie covering Asia made it quite difficult for the Aces. Game 2 is going to be a hoot. Moving on to game 2, we have the Sun and the Sky. The Sun won 68-63. This was another great game. It's not as high scoring as I would like it to be, just going to be honest about that. I think, you know, neither team breaking 70. The offense clearly wasn't doing what the offense needed to be doing. That's not a high scoring WNBA game. I am thrilled that Connecticut played like regular season Connecticut normally plays. It was a much more entertaining game to watch, and I appreciated that. There were 9 ties and 14 lead changes. This was a tight one. The Sun had 4 players in double digits. DeWanna Bonner with 15 points, AT with a double-double, 12 points and 10 boards, and JJ and Bree Jones each had 12 points. In the post-game interview, Kurt Miller stated that the Sun made this game messy. They did. By that, he meant that a pretty game was not going to get it done for Connecticut. It was definitely a scrappy and physical game. Copper and Williams had a fun little I'm never letting go moment, and Candace was serving faces. Truthfully, I don't think the Sky were prepared for the Sun. The Sun switched it up. They gave them things that they hadn't done in the regular season. I think that is so incredibly smart of them to do that. I also think it sucks to not feel prepared. That's from a coaching standpoint and a player standpoint. I think that they're going to be better prepared. I would not be surprised if the Sun switched it up again, gave them a different look, made them even more uncomfortable. I do expect the Sky to bounce back. I don't think they'll have a first series bounce back where they just blow out the Sun, but I expect game 2 to be equally as entertaining. During the broadcast of the game, a wild stat was shared, which was that the Sun have won 33 playoff games and don't have a championship, and that is the most wins. So now they have 34 wins with no championship to show for it. That's a wild stat. Drop us a comment and tell us your predictions for game 2. Is it going to be a blowout? Who's going to win? We would love to hear from you. Okay, so now it's time to get into these interviews. I'm so excited. So let's hear from Hunter.
How's it going today?
Good, just in a little bit of a rush. So.
Okay, we'll be really quick.
Okay,
thanks for
thanks.
your time today. Do you guys travel out this evening?
Yeah, like now.
Like now, okay. So Sue, there's a lot going on with the NIL deals right now. Players like Aaliyah Boston have deals with companies like Bojangles and Bose. I'm curious, when you were in college, is there any places that were in Connecticut or organizations that you would have loved to kind of be with for the NIL deals?
Like Bob's Furniture Store? I don't know. Whatever was in stores would have worked for me.
Whatever was in stores. During the last game, there was that moment you kind of had to break away and really yell to the crowd. What did that moment kind of mean for you, and how has these playoffs felt so far?
Yeah, I think, that moment was, I felt as if that moment kind of clinched the game a little bit. Like they ended up scoring right afterwards, so maybe it didn't, but that's what that moment actually felt like. So I think I was just showing a little bit of emotion knowing that we won the game and the series is going to be over.
You're such a kind of style icon. You're a gay icon. What does that mean for you? Where do you kind of get some of your fashion inspiration from?
Yeah, I don't really look at it like that. I just more so I look at it like I'm a person. I'm, a human that was able to, through time, through exploration, kind of find themselves, find what worked for them, find what was true to them, find what was comfortable for them. A lot of times, you get put in boxes or or you put yourself in a box. And I think for me, what my story is just someone that eventually found all the things I just said. And with that, I'm just being true to myself, and hopefully I can encourage other people to do the same, no matter what it looks like.
For sure. Thank you for sharing that. You've talked before that if the league expanded and went maybe to the Bay Area, that would be a great place to start. Is there any players that you would love to build a team around? Or who would be one of the top choices? Stewie? Any other players that you would build a team around? All right, Stewie. Finally, we know that you're kind of in charge of the aux cord for the Storm. What has been on the playlist for this season for you guys?
Oh, I mean, even though it's me hitting the button, I very much take advice, influence from my teammates. I know DJ Khaled just dropped something last night, so I'm sure that'll be on when I hit play. That'll come on.
Great. Well, we're not in a rush. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Awesome. So, Coach, we're just going to start off. I would love to know, this is going to be so low-key, not even about basketball, so don't worry about it. You know me and Jewelz have a good time.
Yeah.
When you're not in season in Seattle, what is a good place? Where do you like to go? Where do you like to go have a glass of wine? Where do you go out to eat here? Tell us some of your vibiest spots in Seattle.
In Seattle. Oh, man. You're going to kill me for this. I'm not a outside doorsy person.
Okay, that's fine.
So DoorDash has been my homie all summer.
Okay, what's your favorite DoorDash spots? Tell us about it.
I love Von 1,000 Spirits. They have amazing pasta.
All right.
Vegan pasta they have. And this other vegan spot, COTY Thai Vegan. I've been eating that a lot.
All right.
But I don't know, I'm just a homebody, so I'm trying to find more balance. So when I do go outside, it's like walking to Whole Foods. It's like nothing amazing.
I get that. I'm the same. I never eat out, so I get that. What does an off-season look like for you? I know that you coach internationally as well, but, WNBA is so different because you guys don't really have an off-season. You jump right into other things. So what does that look like for you?
Yeah, well, last off-season, I did a lot of professional development. So I went to the Bay. I went to Portland and just a couple of other places to just learn and grow as a coach. I'm in LA in the off season, so I'm home with family. But this off season, like you said, I'll be in Australia. I'll do a lot of work with Canada basketball. And I think the biggest thing is trying to perfect my craft, get better, learn, grow, recruit, look at players, just enjoy the game of basketball from a different perspective.
Coach, one thing that you don't have to perfect is your outfit. Your fashion has been killing it this season. Where do you kind of get your fashion inspiration? How do you guys decide this as a team?
Yeah, I just try to be neat, I think, and color coordinate as much as possible. I really like how Mary J. Blige dresses. I like, just different pieces from different people. But I think the biggest thing for me is just like creating my own style and my own swag. So like in 2019, I would put heels on with my outfit, but as a coach, I'm walking a lot more. So I'm like Jordans or, comfortable shoes that will complement the outfit. I'm a big accessory person, so like glasses, belts, watches, etc. So I just try to pick and choose from different people, but also like cater it to me.
Coach, finally, one of my favorite moments from this whole season. You have been, first of all, so amazing and so kind. This is my first year doing it, so thanks for just being so approachable. But I really loved it. It felt like you had to push yourself to get these technicals. Was this hard for you? Have you thought about assigning this to one of the assistant coaches? And is that a challenge, just being so maybe naturally soft-spoken?
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. A lot of the refs, as a player, they ref me. And so they know my demeanor and my personality. And I think they're trying to do me a favor by not calling it when I'm trying to just, create some momentum for my team or, spice it up a little bit. They have a lot of respect in that way, but also, I get tips of, what can like really push buttons. Yeah. But it's obviously the mood of the game and what's happening. But yeah, I try often.
Finally, my last question, with the players now having this clause with the offseason where if they're not back by the beginning of next year, there'll be some different infractions. How do you kind of help give the players their own voice and understand that while still balancing what it's going to mean for the Storm in the years to come?
Yeah, it's tough because you want to make sure you support your players in any aspect, and understanding that overseas financially for them is very lucrative in a lot of for a lot of teams, a lot of countries, for a lot of players. But also, as a representative of our organization, we want our players here. We want them to prioritize the W. And I think when we find a balance of giving the players enough money and enough resources and opportunities to feel comfortable enough to stay here, I think a lot more players will. So it's just going to take time, and I think it's just not pitting each other against each other, pitting us against each other, but just working together to find a solution.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah,
appreciate
no problem.
it.
Thanks.
So much for doing this with us.
No problem.
Really appreciate you taking the time. I'm Hunter with Balance Sports. We're really excited to be covering you on your last season this year. How's everything been going for you? How's the season felt so far?
It's been great. I mean, I'm with a great group of women here, and it's honestly been, everything and more that I could ask of my last season.
Awesome. I know you're from Spokane. How has it been for you to kind of be here and be so involved in the community during this season?
It's so special. Not only am I able to share this season with everybody who got me started on this journey of basketball, from my AAU teammates to my high school coach to high school teammates, just being able to share this season with them has been awesome. But to be able to give back to the same community, and I mean, just to give back to the same state that helped me, helped nurture all my skills and put it into what I am right now. So.
Yeah, I was looking into your career. I mean, you started out here, went on to play at Arizona State. Your career just speaks for itself. At Arizona State, you have so many records. I think you're the only player in history to lead in steals and assists. What did that time mean for you as an athlete, just your time at that university?
It meant everything. I still, I owe a lot to Charlie Turner-Thorne, my head coach there at Arizona State, because not only did she help develop me on the court, she instilled a ton of life lessons that have stuck with me, that have enabled me to be a professional and be successful on and off the court. And so that time right there was very pivotal in my development as a woman. So I really owe a lot to her, and she's still one of my mentors, and we talk often. So yeah.
I know you're wanting to get into coaching. What was your kind of message to her when she announced her retirement this last year? And getting into coaching, how much of a help is she for you to have in your corner?
She's amazing. My 2 years coaching underneath her at Arizona State made me fall in love with it. I was a little worried I wasn't going to find something that kind of lit that fire, but she is such a phenomenal person. She loves this game so much. Having her in my corner as I start this journey is just, I couldn't ask for a better support team. I think I have a lot of help, a lot of years of experience in my back pocket if I need it going on, and so I feel pretty confident making this next step.
That's really great. We're excited for you to make that next step. Have you thought about whether you'd like that to be college, pro? Are you still feeling that out?
Yeah, right now I want to take the next step into the pro game. I want to experience that. I want to help young women have a fulfilled and successful career like I did. I'm leaving this game achieving everything and more that I thought I would, and I want to help develop women. I want to help develop women leaders and help grow our league. So yeah.
I love that you're saying that. We kind of started the show to just share more about the WNBA, but just to really spread the content. And there's been a lot of coaches that have transitioned into, or players that have transitioned into coaches. Becky was just announced today, Coach of the Year. We've got Noelle, Tanisha.
Exactly.
What kind of, inspiration have they been for you in seeing them succeed so well?
Oh, huge inspiration. I do think that it is special when we have experienced the ins and outs, the ups and downs of this league, and seen how much it's grown, what needs to be added. We have that kind of insight to help the next generation kind of continue to grow this league, and just the knowledge that those coaches that you mentioned have. I mean, giving back, it's priceless what we are getting from Noe, and what Tanisha's team is getting from her, and Becky's team is getting from her. It's priceless knowledge that they're sharing.
So you're sharing this knowledge, the dedication you learned at Arizona State. Did you kind of have this desire and drive at a young age? Did you focus on just basketball or other sports, or what was youth development like for you getting into basketball?
I started out playing soccer and loved it. I played it all the way through middle school, but my soccer teammates were like, hey, we play basketball, you want to join us? And I was like, sure, and honestly just fell in love with it. I was that young kid going a million miles per hour, throwing herself all over the place, just going after the ball. And I have loved the game since the first day I tried it. And yeah, I think it's that love. I never really thought of it as, I never really thought of it as like work, because I really genuinely enjoy the game. I enjoy the people I'm around every day, the teamwork, just the competition. And then, I tell the story to a lot of kids. I didn't even think about playing professional basketball until my junior year in college. And Charlie was like, do you want to play after this? And I was like, if there's opportunity, I guess this is something I could do, And then from then on, I just really put my focus into it, made it a goal, and worked hard to accomplish it. But yeah, I've always just been on the court wanting to have fun.
So you've had this great perspective. You want to help the next generation. What are some things that in 10 years from now you would love to see if the WNBA has made the jump to here? Some things that, you would just love to see moved in a positive direction.
For me, and the W, I just hope in moving forward, the decisions are made to raise the level of our brand, just to help the brand, help our players be the best that they can be. Like, that should be behind every decision we make, because we want this league to continue to be great and to put our talents out there for everyone to see. And in order to do that, we have to take care of our talent. We have to make decisions that will help them. And so that moving forward, I really think that just needs to be behind every decision we make.
Totally agree with you on that one. Thank you for that. I would love to talk about Indiana. You not on their website, on your own bio on the WNBA.com, it says the most prolific guard in Indiana history.
Man.
What does that mean to just kind of have that accolade next to your name, most prolific in Indiana history?
It means the world, because Indiana means the world to me. I am so blessed to have been drafted there. I didn't know where Indiana was. It was a place I flew over often, drove around, until I got drafted there. But it honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better situation. Being drafted and being on the same team as Tamika Catchings, who is the ultimate professional and ultimate human being. I can't say enough about her and her leadership and her role in me developing into the professional I've been. But to have vets like Tully Bevilacqua just to sit and to soak in everything she was doing, Ebony Hoffman, who's on our staff right now, Tammy Sutton Brown, Katie Douglas. I just had phenomenal people, and Lynn Dunn, phenomenal coach, just really great at what she did. And I was just surrounded by all the tools I needed to be successful, and I just soaked in all of that knowledge. And the fans, from top to bottom, the fans, the organization, just really, I couldn't have asked for any more. And yeah, that place is still a second home to me and always will be.
I love that. I was happy to see the celebrations that you got when you went to Indiana.
Yeah.
We love to only try to speak about the positives here. Indiana, it just seems like they don't have that same energy that they've had when you were playing there.
Yeah.
What are some different things that if I can make this even more broad and not speak about Indiana, what are things that like a WNBA franchise, when they're in that, can do to kind of pivot in the right direction? What is just some moves now that you're getting into coaching that kind of help a team achieve that kind of success that they're going back towards?
I really do think, we can speak specifically about Indiana. They're headed in the right direction, and just developing the young talent that they have. And I'm very impressed with I would think they had 5 on their team this year that came in and made an impact, and I think, Lynn Dunn being back in the GM position is helping, lead that organization. But I don't know, I really do think, it's hard. From year to year, your team's not going to be the same, and players get older and retire, and you have to be prepared to rebuild and prepare the younger players to really step into those leadership roles.
Yeah, it changes every season. They've done a good job with their rookies this year.
Exactly.
But is there any rookies, or let's say the WNBA is going to expand and you're the GM of a new team, who are you building around? Is there anyone that you really enjoyed your game and you would say, that's who I would build this team around?
Oh, man. Build my team around one of the rookies?
You're starting a new franchise. It doesn't have to be a rookie, maybe even a young player, someone that you would build a team around.
Oh, shoot. You put me on the spot here. You did.
Too many options.
Literally, I'm like going through every team, and I can really just pick out.
It could be
a
someone on
player
your
here.
team, someone else
Oh,
in the.
I mean, my team, I could pick about 10, you know. I'm talking, I mean, Stewie, I mean, everybody's younger than I am, unfortunately, aging myself. But, you know, Stewie, all world, I think the world of her. I mean, in a heartbeat, I would put her on my side, you know. I mean, Stewie, Jewel, Ezzy. I mean, yeah, any of those three. I'll go with those three and keep it safe.
Okay, those are great ones. Finally, you know, before the season, I saw a clip that both Sue and Diana asked who the toughest player that ever guarded them, and they both said you. Sue said, "I'm so grateful she's on my team this year." I'm curious, who is the hardest player in your career that you've had to defend?
Man, there's been a few, and I'm gonna age myself and kind of cover my entire career here. But when I first got into the league, Deanna Nolan was the most explosive, dynamic player I have ever stepped on the court with. And I remember Lynn being like, "Oh yeah, that's your matchup," and I'm like, I'm gonna give it my best. Yeah, no, she was just, it was tough. Like, she was just her explosiveness. She could stop on a dime, and you know, it was hard. But also, I have to mention Cappy. She dropped 50 on me in the Garden. And then I honestly have to put Sue and Lindsay Whalen. And those two are just so smart, you know.
A different kind of defense you play
yeah,
against
it's a different. It wasn't the athletic, shifty, you know, whatever. But they're so smart. You make the smallest misstep, you're slow, you're covering an angle. They read it so well, and so you know they made me a better defender playing both of them. Oh, and of course Diana.
And of course
it was just
Diana.
always a battle, and I loved it. I loved it every time.
Awesome. My final question for you. I imagine, you've always just had such this competitive spirit. Besides getting into coaching, after you play, what are other ways that you think you'll continue this kind of competitive fire, whether that's like staying physically fit or just kind of getting that same energy that you were able to exert on the court out?
I'm trying to explore my options right now because all of my friends, all the people I've talked to that have retired already, they're like, you got to find something.
Okay.
Like, you got to find something to, you know, what do they call it? Just to release.
Get that
just
energy
to
out.
release, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm really excited, honestly, to get back into martial arts. You know, during basketball, I haven't been able to train as often. I do have a black belt in Tang Sudo, so getting back into martial arts. But, you know, working on my golf game, maybe some pickleball here and there. You know, and of course lifting. I love getting in the gym, just lifting and taking care
Are
of my
you
body.
sure you're like
Oh,
the
no, I
gun
hate
show
it.
over
It's
here?
terrible. No.
I appreciate it. Amazing chatting with you.
Same.
Good luck in Vegas.
That's my best friend. Getting real good interviews doing it. I'm not a rapper. Rapping on the internet was wrong with me. Hunter and I briefly spoke as if he was running off to the airport too. The same day we got these interviews, the all-rookie team and the coach of the year were announced. So Hunter and I spoke about that. We're live from practice.
Oh, we're live from Seattle Storm's practice facility. Not for long, you get a new one.
We thought we'd go over the all-rookie announcement by the WNBA.
And the coach of the year announcement.
What are your thoughts on Becky Hammon getting coach of the year?
Look, they are the number one team. It's hard to argue. It wouldn't have been who I voted for, but I'm not surprised by it by all. Is she going to win outfit of the year? No, but coach of the year, we'll give her that one.
I'm very happy to see that Becky Hammon is coach of the year. I think it makes sense. I mean, yes, that team was doing really well before she got there, but I think she brought those players to another level. And I also think it's really, really hard. People downplay how hard it is to continue to be really good and to stay at that high level. So I'm really happy with that pick. And y'all know I loves the fit. Hello.
Look,
Hoodies for life.
Hoodies for life. That's the hoodie team over there. She unlocked several players. Even Asia, who has been an MVP, had arguably her best season. Kelsey, Jackie improved immensely under Becky. So the pick makes sense.
The pick makes sense. Now let's talk about this all-rookie team.
Picks that finally make sense. AP News, we looking at you.
Take notice. No crumbs, no qualms. I think this is the exact list that you made.
It really is. Rebecca Gardner and Alyssa Smith, Queen Egbo.
Ryan Howard and Shakira Austin. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Ryan Howard was Rookie of the Year. No surprise there, but that's a great rookie team. Congrats to the rookies.
Congrats, Max.
So, you know, the Cats maybe replace me for the next episode. I will be gone again this week, but I had a great interview today.
It was really nerve-wracking for me to not be able to hear and make sure the audio quality was good, but I'm so excited to see like how it went. It looked fun.
It was very nerve-wracking for me as a person asking them these questions, but let's see how this turns out.
Okay, so that is our episode for today. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. If you laughed, enjoyed, or liked any aspect of this show, please go ahead and subscribe. We appreciate it. It helps us grow. For Balance Sports, I'm Jewelz.